Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ringside Ramblers podcast. I'm your host, Alex, and I'm joined this week by Alfonso. And for this week's show, we will be previewing WWE Survivor Series WarGames 2024. Now, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Ringside Ramblers podcast on YouTube. It really helps our channel, and please hit that like button. But without further ado, let's get in to the Survivor Series WarGames 2024. So, Alfonso, welcome to the show, and are you ready to ramble about Survivor Series?
I'm super ready to ramble, but I'm very sad that I'm missing Survivor Series this year because I'm going to be at a wedding.
No! Oh, you poor
Yeah.
man. It should be a great show, really. Looking at the matches, we've got 5 matches lined up so far. They may add another. They probably won't because this seems to be the formula for WWE. 5 matches. I quite like it because it gives you a chance to breathe in between each one. So let's get straight into it. So the first match advertised is a singles match for the United States Championship. LA Knight, the champion, defends against Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, there hasn't really been a lot of build to this at all. There's been one segment where Nakamura has come out and attacked LA Knight, and now they're facing each other for the championship. So, feels a bit cold, this one. I don't know. What do you think, Alfonso?
Yeah, it was weird because I was thinking they were going to go with the Street Profits against DIY or something like that, like a tag team match. But I think maybe they're going to swerve us and have Nakamura beat LA Knight here.
No way.
That's the only
I
thing that I'm thinking about because why are you going to do this match right now? There is no build, but you want to try to make Nakamura happen again? This is how.
That's a good point. There's been talk that he will his contract will run out soon and he will just go on his way. I don't know. I just think LA Knight is a great champion, and it feels like such a anticlimax if it ends here. I don't know. Do you think Nakamura is going to go over then and become the new champion?
I hope so because if not, it means Nakamura is done.
Yeah, I guess that would be it. He had a couple of shots at Seth Rollins' world championship last year, and we haven't really seen him since. So they're not really doing anything with him. But I think LA Knight will win, and I think this will be one last rub from Nakamura on his way out. I just not that excited about the match, to be honest. Although I really like both guys, it's just a bit of a cold match.
Yeah, but
We
I think they're going to surprise us because I think even though the match is cold because of the feud is cold, I think both wrestlers have a very special kind of wrestling style. So maybe they're going to do something special with it.
should be a good in-ring match for sure. So from something a little bit cold in terms of build-up to something reasonably hot, I would say. The triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. The champion Bron Breakker defends against Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser. Good build for this, I think. All 3 guys have been interacting with each other. There was a huge brawl on Raw this past week after a match between Breaker and Kaiser. And I just think all 3 guys are doing really good work at the moment. And this could be a banger of a match, as Sheamus would say. How do you see it going, Alfonso?
I think this is one of the most interesting match in the card because this match and the Gunter match are going to be very interesting because if you want to take the title of Gunter and do something else with that title, maybe Finn Balor against Damien Priest, you can have Ludwig Kaiser win here. And that way you can have a very interesting few months with Sheamus trying to gain his Intercontinental Championship and Gunther being very jealous that Ludwig Kaiser has the title right now. So I think this is going to be a great, great match.
I completely agree. And I honestly wouldn't mind if Kaiser won. I think I'm a really big fan of Ludwig Kaiser. I think he's done some great work over this last year. He's a exceptional in-ring worker, and he really goes balls to the wall in every match. He just gives it his all. And he's come into his own with his character on the mic. So I'd love Kaiser to win this, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think Bron Breakker is still the man. He's the future champ. He's the future of the WWE. I think he's going to hang on to the championship and go forward. And Sheamus and Kaiser can have they can carry on their singles feud if they want. I wouldn't mind seeing matches between them. But great segue. You mentioned Gunther, so that's the next match we'll talk about. A singles match for the World Heavyweight Championship. The champion Gunther defends against Damian Priest. What do you think, Alfonso? Is this what do you think is going to happen?
I think it's very difficult to know what is going to happen because you can give Gunter the clean win because he has been doubting himself, or you can have Priest beat Gunter because I have a feeling that something like this is going to happen, that Valor is going to interfere in the match, but because Valor is interfering in the match, Gunter is going to attack Valor and have Priest beat him.
Interesting. So you think Priest will win?
I think Priest is going to be champ.
Wow. I mean, that's a bold prediction, Alfonso. I don't know. This is a hard one to call because
Because if not, what are you doing with the title with Gunter at Mania? Are you going to have him go against Goldberg or something like that? I
no.
prefer him to go have an intercontinental feud with Kaiser and Sheamus.
Yeah, I see what you mean, but no, I think CM Punk will be the next challenger and he will beat Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship, which will then set up Punk versus Rollins. Now, more on that later, I'm sure. I just think that's the way they're going to go. Although Punk versus Rollins doesn't need the World Heavyweight Championship, I
And
think it
yeah, yeah,
adds.
that's the thing for me, that right now he doesn't need the title, Punk against Rollins.
Yeah,
And even if they want to build it as a main event, they can main event the first night, but they don't need a title. And that's the most beautiful thing about that they don't need a title. And Punk right now also being in the main event with Heyman and Roman Reigns is more interesting than the title.
yeah, you're right. Punk's feuds don't need the title because he's that over himself, and obviously so is Rollins. But I think that's the way they're going to go. Triple H is reportedly very high on Damian Priest, so there is a
Exactly.
chance. There is a chance they could switch the belts here for sure.
Plus the
And
guy met me this year, so he has to get some luck. So maybe Priest is going to win.
you're his good luck charm.
Exactly.
um, Priest is really done some great work over these past couple of weeks as being built up as a challenger for Gunther. He's looked so strong in promos, and he laid out Gunther this past Monday night on Raw with a huge razor's edge through the announce table. He looks really strong at the moment, and he looks like a credible challenger to Gunther. So typically, that usually means if the guy gets the upper hand beforehand, will end up losing the match.
That's why I think it's going to be the other way around.
It
Because
would be a
sometimes,
shocker.
because yeah, exactly that's what you need. You need a shocker. Because I think the main event is going to be very obvious that the bloodline, the OG bloodline is going to win. But more on that later.
Yes, more on that later. I think we're split here. Then I think Gunther, and you think Priest, but it should be a fantastic match. They had a great match at Bash in Berlin, I think it was. I think I'm right in saying that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. But we will move on. There's two more matches left. Both of them are War Games, traditional War Games matches. So we'll start with the women's one. So we have the babyface team of Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Io Sky, and what was Jade Cargill, but she has suffered a legit injury, which on screen she was written off TV, being attacked backstage. She has been replaced with Bailey. So those are the five for the babyface team against the heel team. Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae. A whole mix of things going on here.
I
You've
think
got
I think the build up has been very bad but I
I
think,
agree.
but I think the match is going to be really, really cool because a lot of things can happen. Like I can even see the bad guys winning and having a cash in by Stratton at the end
Yeah,
during
absolutely.
war games. Imagine a cash in during war games. That will be a first.
And there's no reason why they couldn't do that. And I mean, there's a few pieces here, isn't there? So you've got Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, who have been feuding, for the past 6 months or so, which is a really cool storyline, but it's kind of losing a little bit of steam at the moment.
Yeah,
You've
for
got
sure.
Nia Jax, who is the SmackDown Women's Champion, who has been feuding with Bayley and Naomi over the Women's Championship. But then you've also got the little wrinkle of Tiffany Stratton, who is Nia's second in command, you could say, who also has the Money in the Bank briefcase, who has been teasing a cash in. Um, so I agree, Alfonso. The build hasn't been the best. It's kind of a bit of a mishmash of superstars being thrown in there. Um, I Bianca Belair, Naomi, Io Sky, Bailey. I mean, they've all been friends in the past, but
Yeah,
they're kind
yeah.
of just
I think,
thrown together, really.
but that's why I think the Hill team is going to win. But that's okay because my question for you is, who attacked Jade Cargill?
That is a great question. To me, it has to be. It can be no one else other than Bianca Belair.
No, it's Naomi.
It could be Naomi. It
For
probably will end up being revealed as Naomi, but for me, it has to be Belair. I want the Bianca Belair heel turn.
no,
She's been a
you know
babyface for
why?
too long.
You know why? Because they're going to make Jade Cargill go against Naomi, and then you have Bianca attack Jade Cargill.
I
And
just think it.
because I really think the heel turn has to be from Bianca, but you cannot be so obvious.
I see what you mean, but if anything, they could. The way everything's been hinted, they could make it seem like it's Naomi who's the obvious attacker, and then swerve everybody by having Bianca come out and say it was her.
You're right.
I just think Bianca has been a babyface for like 4 years now or something, with like maybe a little heel run in between. I really want to see that other side to her. She's over. She's amazing. She's one of
But
the
yeah,
top stars.
she needs something else right now
She
because.
needs something fresh. Exactly. She will never not be over, but she needs something just to freshen her up a bit. I want to see Bianca as a heel.
But
Um,
you know that something that is really lacking is that, are we ever going to get Bianca against Rhea Ripley? That's the big question.
that's a big money match, isn't it? For sure.
Yeah,
Um,
but yeah, that's all the questions I have for this match. If you want, let's go over to the main event, the big match, the big main event. Now with CM Punk with the OG Bloodline. I think that's crazy. Can you list me the names of the teams?
Yeah, so the men's war game match. So we have the OG bloodline, Roman Reigns, Jimmy and Jay Uso, Sami Zayn, and CM Punk, who was recently added last Friday on SmackDown, versus the Bloodline 2.0, Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Tamatonga, Tonga Loa, and Bronson Reed. Now, this match is the build for this match has been incredible. I have to say, the amount of storytelling they've done, the the constant sort of moments where it has you guessing who could help Roman. Who first you had Roman and Jimmy, and then they had to try and persuade Jay, and then Jay joins the team, and then they had to try and persuade Sammy, and eventually he joins the team because it's great storytelling in the fact that nobody wants to help Roman because Roman has been such a dick for the past 4 years to everybody, which is it's just great storytelling. And Seth Rollins didn't want to help him. I
Cody
think,
wasn't even an option for him.
yeah, yeah. I think Jey Uso was seen talking to Rey Mysterio. There was a few things going on. Eventually, Paul Heyman came back with CM Punk to help the OG Bloodline, and people. I've seen on social media have been saying, why Punk? That doesn't make sense. To me, it makes complete sense because he's doing it purely because he loves Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman has asked CM Punk's help in this match. So to me, it makes perfect sense, and he's a
But
great addition.
I think the biggest thing about this match is that the main event, if you go men for men, you're going to get CM Punk against Bronson Reed, and Bronson Reed is feuding with Seth Rollins, and that's the big question: are we going to have a triple threat at Mania with Roman Reigns against Seth Rollins against CM Punk, like a Shield reunion without Moxley?
Do you know what I think is going to happen? I think Seth Rollins will inevitably interfere in this match.
Of course,
I think he is going to go and make a beeline for Bronson Reed. In the process of taking out Reed or trying to take out Reed, he will accidentally
take out
bump,
Punk.
bang into Punk. Yeah.
Of course.
And that then heats up CM Punk and Seth Rollins. And you can go with that and run with that for a WrestleMania match next year.
But that means you're getting the Rock here also coming back.
Exactly what my next question was going to be. So, what there's been many scenarios thrown out about the finish, what happens after the match. So, does the Rock appear, and does Heyman side with the Rock? That is the question I want to know.
Oh my God, Heyman with the Rock. I
Yeah,
think that will be
Heyman.
interesting because if you remember, CM Punk against the Rock is also a feud that is interesting to revisit.
Yep, and
So, so yeah, it's going to be very. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. But I think that whatever happens in the end of this match is going to shape up WrestleMania 40,
yeah,
41.
yeah, 41. Yeah, I agree. I think things will become a lot clearer. I think we are going to see The Rock. I hope we see The Rock. I don't know if Heyman will turn on the OGs. That might be a bit out there, a bit left field. I could see it happening because Heyman's character is essentially he will do whatever he wants to benefit himself. He left Punk for Brock. He left Brock for Reigns. There is no reason why he can't leave Reigns and side with The Rock.
But
Another
why
thing,
did he left Reigns in the beginning? Do you remember?
well, he Reigns lost the championship and he was just sort of stuck with Solo, wasn't he?
Exactly.
Yeah,
And that's very interesting because he's not siding with Reigns because he couldn't win the championship. He sided with Solo because Roman Reigns left him. So he has like a really like interesting character development from Heyman to say, Reigns, you left everybody to become this heelish person. So that's why I don't think the actions of Paul Heyman is being a heel. He's being the baby face. Like Roman Reigns is still a douchebag that was the heelish heel in the industry for the last 4 years. We have to
yeah.
remember that.
Roman Reigns has not changed his character.
Exactly.
He is still the same dick that he has been for the last 4 years. He's he's ever so slowly teasing that babyface side of him, but the crowd are just loving him. So by default, he's a babyface, but he's the same guy.
But
So
you know that's something that is really like making me very happy about all this because I have a feeling that eventually Cody Rhodes is turning heel and Roman Reigns is turning babyface. So they're going to do like a double turn eventually, I think.
Cody Rhodes is a heel. I've said this before. He is a heel at heart. The way he dresses, the way he speaks, I think he would be an amazing heel. Let me just ask you one question, and I want a fairly quick answer if you
Okay.
can. What will be the main event of WrestleMania 41? Like the match, the big match.
Cody Rhodes against The Rock against
Really?
Roman Reigns.
Oh, you're going for a triple threat
I'm
match.
going for a triple threat match. I think it's
Yeah.
too big to only have a singles match in the main event.
Yeah, I think that's a really good shout. The only other thing I see happening is we get the Rock, super heel Rock versus super babyface Roman Reigns for the head of the table, And then the year after, if they can drag it out that long, we get Cody versus The Rock. I don't think that will happen. That's a bit of a stretch
Because
because I
if
think,
not, if not, we're getting like one of those matches before at the Royal Rumble.
yeah, yeah, I think it's too big to give away at the Royal Rumble, which sounds ridiculous because it's such a big pay per view. But we're talking about the biggest money matches in wrestling right now. What's amazing, like you
But
said, Alfonso,
for me, one of the biggest matches right now is Roman Reigns against CM Punk.
I think that could main event WrestleMania the year after next, WrestleMania 42. Because you're right, that's huge money, and they've teased a couple of little things already, and fans would just want to see that. I want to see that. That would be an incredible main event to a WrestleMania.
So yeah, I'm really hoping that on Sunday when I come back from the wedding, I'm going to be a little bit hungover and enjoy an amazing Survivor Series. I'm going to try not to spoil it for me so I can enjoy the next day, and I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, it should be a great show. And I think the War Games match has the potential to be the greatest War Games match in WWE's version of the War Games. Because there's just so much there, so many stars, so the story, everything. One thing we haven't said: who's going over, the OG Bloodline or Bloodline 2.0?
I think the OG Bloodline is going over,
No, I disagree. I think Bloodline 2.0 are going to go over,
but
and I think
they don't excite me at all.
look, their run has been it's a little bit just meh. But they've picked up steam over the last month or so. Jacob Fatu looks like an absolute killer. You'd put him up against anybody and he would just slaughter them. Solo has come much more into his own on the mic. I think he's doing some great promo work. And I don't know, if you really want to heat Solo and Jacob up, give them a huge dominating win here. Or even if you want to just give them the win, have The Rock come out or Heyman or Rollins accidentally costs the OGs the match, something like that could happen. I just think it would do them a hell of a lot of good to see the new bloodline go over. But there's a million ways they can go with this, and so many different ways they can go coming out of this match. So, like you said, Alfonso, loads to look forward to with this Survivor Series. So, I think we'll wrap it up there. Any closing thoughts you've got on Survivor Series before we go?
It was a very cold time in WWE, and suddenly everything is hot because Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes in December is going to be an amazing match. The feud is finally getting to that point that we needed to be, and Survivor Series is has 5 matches. I think it's going to be an enjoyable night of wrestling.
Yeah, completely agree. And I mean, you say it's been a little bit cold. I mean, in general, the year for WWE has been so hot. But you're right; they have hit a little bit of a lull in the last couple of months. But I'm sure now Survivor Series to WrestleMania season is going to really pick up. So yeah, strap in everybody. It should be a great show this Saturday. So those were our Survivor Series predictions. Alfonso, thank you so much for joining us as always. And we will catch everybody next time for another Ringside Ramblers podcast. Ciao.
Ciao.